transmigrated into the Douluo Continent.
On my birthday, I stumble upon some extraordinary
Each item
treasures
alone would be enough
to serve as a golden finger for any
For
protagonist.
instance, when I was 1 year old, a golden bow, golden arrows, and lead-headed arrows
Striking
descended
Lin
from
Bai,
the heavens,
who was merely a 1-year-old at the
and
time,
merged into his mind,
opening up a sea of consciousness that even a soul saint would struggle to
This
unlock.
set of bow and arrows has an extraordinary
It can
origin.
force two lovers to break up.
A divine artifact that even Apollo, the god of light, could not resist.
The arrows of Cupid,
A must-have for every harem protagonist.
When your natural charm
cheat
falls
codes
short
will bridge the
at
gap.
the age of 2.
Lin Bai picked up a blue-covered book used to prop up a wobbly table.
It was
suspected to be the cultivation manual
The
of an
Yin-Yang
urban
9
dragon
Dragon
king
art,
protagonist.
a dual cultivation technique,
Strengthens the body and
prolongs
reinforces
life
the essence
and grants
stirs
longevity.
the hearts of women.
When in doubt,
Solve it with internal
At
energy.
the age of 3,
I found a wooden ring. It was a storage ring. And out popped an old man with a white beard, passing down the lost techniques, standard equipment for a medical saint
the power
protagonist
to restore
flesh
and the
to
legacy
bones.
of the Ghost Gate 13 needles that can bring the dead back
1
to
needle
life.
to revive the dying, 10 needles to put the king of hell out of
And
a
this
job.
was
merely the golden finger he obtained at the age of 3.
Over these years,
Not a single birthday has been missed. Lin Bai has every reason to suspect that he is the protagonist.
Yet he
has a nagging premonition.
his own martial soul was not
Since
exactly
his parents
impressive.
in this life were both commoners, their martial souls were quite
They were
ordinary.
a silkworm
and a pocket-sized tool,
Neither of them was a
respectively.
spirit master.
And they both passed away at a young age.
Given that martial souls
are inherited through bloodlines, Lin Bai's future did not look promising. Footsteps and heavy breathing could be heard from afar. A middle-aged man waved from a distance and shouted, "Lin Bai, the masters from the Spirit Hall have arrived.
Hurry to the Spirit Hall at the east end of the village
Do
to
not
assemble.
keep the Spirit Master waiting.
Xio village has suffered a great disaster.
6 years ago, a tidal Douluo passing by fought a battle nearby.
The aftermath
affected the villagers who were heading to New Oding City
The
to
old
purchase
village
supplies.
chief,
Lin Li's parents, and over a dozen others
middle-aged man
lost
was
their lives
chosen
to
by
become the
everyone.
new village chief. Understood, village chief. I'll go right away. Lin Li replied with a nod as he headed toward the east end of the village. He scanned his surroundings with great caution. This year, his golden finger had arrived later than usual. He felt a sense of unease in his heart.
No one could say for sure if his Transmigrator's perks had come to an end.
If he were to lose out on any new golden
Could he rely
fingers
on the 5 he had
to
already
survive
obtained?
in this world.
But it is bound to be far more difficult in
One
the end.
must not be too greedy. 5 tapes of golden fingers, hardly inferior to Tang San.
The air in the village is so fresh.
Sunlight pours down,
A golden radiance shines.
falling upon Lin Bai's face. The warmth brushes away his confusion. His gaze becomes resolute.
He has been cultivating the Yin-Yang 9 Dragon art for 4
Unable
years.
to perform dual
Relying
cultivation,
solely
on absorbing the yin and yang energy
His
of the
internal
sun
energy
and
has
moon.
progressed at an
Just like
impressive
Tang's
pace in cultivating the mysterious heaven
He
skill.
has reached a certain bottleneck.
With his internal energy as
It
a foundation.
will not be difficult for Lin Bai
The
to become
only
a
thing
spirit
limiting
master
him
is the quality of his martial
Let go
soul.
of your worries.
Lin Li arrived at the Spirit
Which
Hall.
was nothing more than a thatched
8
hut.
children, similar in age to Lin Bai,
Were brought there by their parents.
Representing the Spirit Hall was a young man, dressed in a crisp white outfit, looking quite handsome. On his chest, he wore the badge of a great spirit
Greetings,
master. Respected spirit master, we are troubling you with this task. The village chief bowed respectfully to the young man. The young man merely offered a slight, indifferent nod in return.
A gesture that served
I
as
don't
his
have much
acknowledgement.
time. Let us begin now. The children lined up in a row. Several children stood still before him. Lin Bai consciously positioned himself at the far
The
left.
young man led the 9 children into the thatched cottage.
He smiled and said, "My name is Siyun
Level
Tao.
26
Great Spirit
I
Master.
am your guide
for now. I shall now proceed to awaken your martial souls one
Relax
by one.
your bodies.
Do not be afraid, no matter
The
what
children
happens." Huddled together in fear.
Lin Bai felt the hairs on his skin
His
stand
senses
on
were far
end.
too keen. He nearly launched an attack. He shook his head inwardly at Siyun Tao's twisted sense of humor. He retracted the miniature item held between his fingers. At that moment, a mechanical voice resonated in Lin Bai's ears. "The infinite recharge system is at your service. Within this system, you can purchase everything your heart desires. Make your first deposit of any amount
And
now.
receive a complimentary advanced martial soul awakening
Host,
card.
would you like to proceed with the
Lin
recharge?"
Bai
shook his head to clear his
Are
thoughts.
you
sure this isn't an illusion?
He
let out a sigh of relief. He had once obtained a system before. It was just that it uninstalled itself after a
But
year.
the
The sheer power of the system, he knew it all too well.
It could be called the ultimate cheat code to defy the heavens and change one's fate.
Top up 1 copper coin. Lin Bai's pockets were empty, wearing a storage ring worth over 100,000 gold coins on his finger. While his entire net worth inside the ring amounted to a mere 8 silver and 53 copper
Fortunately,
coins. The system didn't mind Lin Bai's poverty. After obtaining Lin Bai's consent, it withdrew a single copper coin from the storage ring, leaving behind a purple card that shimmered with an iridescent glow. A sudden realization dawned upon
With
Lin
just
Bai.
a
Single thought. He would be able to use this card and awaken a high-level martial soul like Ju Juking's Nether Civet. It belongs to the level of high-tier martial souls. Now it was Lin Bai's turn to awaken his martial soul. Child, reach out your hand. Su Yuntao rubbed his temples. The previous 8 children had come up empty-handed, none of them possessing the potential to become a spirit master. He hoped for some change at the very end. Lin Bai obeyed and did as he was told, stretching out his hand. As his consciousness descended, the advanced martial soul awakening tower shattered upon command, transforming into a pool of viscous purple liquid. It flowed out from the storage ring, seeping through his skin and into his body. It coursed through his veins so hot. Lin Bai murmured softly. Su Yuntao's expression shifted, his eyes fixed intently on Lin Bai's right hand. A golden light illuminated the entire thatched cottage. The fusion of sharp and gentle auras. Contradictory, yet so natural. This is my martial soul. Ghost gate golden needles. Lin Bai gazed at the 13 golden needles in his hand. Thin as ox hair. His mouth twitched. He nearly cursed out loud. Although he had mastered the 13 ghost needles, he truly did not want to become a spirit master who saves lives. Su Yuntao gazed at the ghost gate golden needles. He hesitated for a moment. The tiny golden needles didn't look like they possessed any lethal power. I cannot recognize what kind of martial soul this is. You may name it yourself so we can proceed to test your spirit power. As long as you possess even the slightest bit of spirit power. Lin Bai felt a wave of dejection in his heart. Suppressing this emotion, he placed his hand upon the blue crystal ball. In an instant, a brilliant radiance burst forth. Full spirit power. Lin Bai had long been prepared for the fact that he possessed innate full spirit power. He did not feel surprised at all. To think it is actually innate full spirit power. Su Yuntao wore an expression of utter astonishment. His gaze toward Lin Bai grew fervent. Child, would you like to join the spirit hall? With a talent like innate full spirit power, a prominent figure will surely take you as their disciple. Lin Bai looked up. His eyes filled with intense curiosity as he asked, Master Spirit Master, does the Spirit Hall have a martial soul like mine? Su Yuntao looked embarrassed, but still spoke the truth. As far as I know, no. However, the Spirit Hall possesses the most comprehensive knowledge regarding martial soul cultivation, and it will surely help you cultivate your martial soul even better. Then I shall not go. Lin Bai shook his head. There are too many anomalies surrounding him. It is not suitable for him to go to the Spirit Hall. Even without these issues, he has grown accustomed to a life of freedom. Saying this was merely an excuse to decline Su Yuntao. Su Yuntao tried to persuade him a few more times. But seeing Lin Bai's firm stance, he helplessly remarked, If you ever change your mind, you can come find me at the Nuoding City Spirit Hall. Wait a moment. I'll write up your Spirit Master certificate. He wrote down Lin Bai's martial soul name and innate spirit power level on the paper, stamped it with the Spirit Hall seal, and handed it to Lin Bai for safekeeping. To enroll in an elementary academy, you must present this certificate, Su Yuntao instructed. Pushing open the door, I explained Lin Bai's situation to the village chief, hoping he could persuade Lin Bai to change his mind. But alas, Lin Bai's resolve was no amount of persuasion would make a difference. After brushing the matter aside, the village chief went to secure his enrollment qualification, while Lin Bai returned home alone. Lin Bai's father made a living by planting mulberry trees, and his mother earned their keep by sewing and mending for the townsfolk. He was considered well off in Haha village, but after an accident 6 years ago, in order to survive and to protect himself, Lin Bai gradually sold off his family's valuables for his home now is nothing more than an empty, dilapidated house. He pulled up a chair and sat down. Lin Bai summoned his martial soul. 13 golden needles hovered silently above his palm because he lacked patience to practice on. Lin Bai was not yet proficient in the 13 needles of the Ghost Gate. He had practiced several techniques that utilized golden needles for attacks quite extensively, driven by his already attained a respectable level of golden needle between his fingers and discovered that he could separate his martial souls, making it no different from an ordinary silver needle. He curled his middle finger and thumb into a ring, then released the needle with a flick of his middle finger, striking the end of the needle forward. It pierced into the wooden table to a depth of 2 fingers. This was achieved without using internal energy. Spirit power. If spirit power were to be channeled, the golden needle would penetrate even deeper. Its piercing power is truly formidable. It feels like my attacks can even pierce through steel slightly. That makes sense. After all, it is a high-level martial soul. Even if it leans towards the healing attribute, with the material alone, combined with my techniques, it still possesses considerable lethality. But that alone, Lin Bai was not satisfied. A healer's heart is benevolent, but he did not possess such noble enlightenment. So he decided not to mislead himself or others any further. His eyes shone with intense brilliance. He carefully observed the Ghost Gate golden needles. This was the golden cheat he had obtained on his 5th birthday. It was raining that day. Raindrops fell into Lin Bai's eyes, bestowing upon him the ability known as the Eye of Appraisal. Given enough time, the Eye of Appraisal could see through the secrets of all things. High-level martial soul, Ghost Gate golden needles, heal the beasts, heal the world. Martial soul characteristics. Sharpness that spares life and preserves can evolve essence into the top-tier martial soul. Golden needle. Heal the heavens, heal the earth, heal all things in the universe. Martial soul characteristics. Unparalleled sharpness, spares life and preserves essence. Will. Can mutate and evolve into the super martial soul. Universe spear. governing the universe and all
Healing
things,
all living beings
battling
in the world.
across the heavens and
Martial
myriad
soul
realms,
characteristics.
ultimate essence, unity of light and darkness,
Yin-yang
transformation,
size at will,
divine formation mastery.
countless data flashed through his eyes,
Finally consolidating into the results.
All
information regarding the Ghost Gate Golden Needle Martial Soul, as well as the conditions required for its evolution to evolve into the Ryu Golden Needle.
metal attribute spirit item is
which
required.
must perfectly harmonize both sharpness and healing properties. A bias toward a single attribute will diminish the success rate. Lin Bai carefully reviewed the data analyzed by the Eye of Appraisal and stated with certainty, the Ryu Golden Needle is the absolute pinnacle of my bloodline's potential. If it weren't for the advanced Martial Soul Awakening card, the Martial Soul I awakened might
evolved
have due to my innate full spirit power. The difference would likely be between a pocket-sized version and a golden needle, as stable as it is now. I recall there were no metal attribute immortal herbs in the Ice and Fire Yin Yang. If I want my martial soul to evolve, I can only rely on my own efforts. Lin Bai retracted his martial soul, feeling no disappointment in his future of an auxiliary type spirit master. At the very least, he now has the hope of changing his profession to a battle spirit master. The infinite recharge system is at your service. Lin Bai skillfully summoned a system interface. The items listed above were dazzling and numerous, all-encompassing, inclusive of everything. The first item that caught his eye, the Pengu Axe, was shrouded in dark mist, obscuring its image. It's all a blur. I can't see it clearly. The price tag below has a string of zeros, stretching on endlessly. Filter out anything that even selling the Douluo planet wouldn't be enough to buy. Lin Bai waved his hand, annoyed. The system complied immediately. A vast number of items vanished from the panel. Now, filter out everything related to metal attributes, all items related to martial souls. The items in the system shop have decreased once again. Lin Bai began to browse from top to bottom. Then, his brow gradually furrowed. Items in the shop and related to the Douluo Continent are at least twice as expensive. For him to save enough gold coins before the system disappears in a year is simply impossible. List all items related to martial souls. As the panel flickered several times, the items refreshed. Lin Bai found an item suitable for him. Martial Soul Evolution Card. Limited time 30% price off. 70,000 gold soul coins. Martial Soul Mutation Evolution Card. Limited time 20% price. 1.2 million gold soul coins. Twin Martial Soul Awakening Card. 50% off for a limited time. 400,000 gold soul coins. Note, 29 days, 2338 until the next free refresh. Spend 10,000 gold soul coins to manually refresh the shop. Get a discount. Maximum discount, 10% minimum off. Discount, 200% Lin Bai let out a scoff, amused by the sheer absurdity. Is nothing but a greedy money grabber. Is it possible to take out repay a loan? The debt in a year? The system remained silent. Lin Bai couldn't be bothered to engage in a silent standoff. He closed the shop interface. Leaning back in his chair, he pondered how to make some money. Maybe I should open a medical clinic. No, that won't work. There are healing types. Who would ever come to a doctor for treatment? Besides, earning money through medicine is far too slow. Nobody would trust a mere child like me to practice medicine. Lin Bai pondered over it again and again, to realize that all the ways to make money are written in the law. To gather enough funds to purchase those 3 items, even calculating at a 10% discount, would still require over 200,000 gold soul coins. That is enough to drain the entire cash flow of a medium-sized merchant guild. By legitimate means, it is absolutely impossible to earn that much in a year. Lin Bai had also considered reporting Tang Sen and his father. Tang Hao is currently a wanted fugitive by the Spirit Hall, is steep, but after careful consideration, he ultimately abandoned this seemingly tempting idea. There are 2 reasons for this. Firstly, not to mention whether the Spirit Hall would be willing to pay him a reward of tens or hundreds of thousands of golden spirit coins. Even if they did pay, after layers of exploitation, there might not be much left in Lin Bai's hands. Secondly, once Tang Hao is reported, given Lin Bai's strength, he will inevitably leave traces behind. Unless the Spirit Hall dispatches a force capable of killing Tang Hao. If Tang Hao manages to escape and follows those traces to find Lin Bai will be in grave danger. Trying to come up with inventions and creations is unlikely to succeed in this world. With spirit masters in existence, efficient methods for salt production and iron smelting have already been Lin Bai's turn. The chance to change his destiny is right before his eyes. Yet he is blocked at the door by the receptionist. Outside the door, Lin Bai ruffled his hair in frustration. In his past life, he was nothing more than an ordinary man. Know a way to make a fortune? A sense of powerlessness welled up within him. At the same time, a flicker of ruthlessness stirred in his heart. If he truly couldn't think of any other way, he would simply rob the rich to aid the poor. There are slave traders on the Douluo Continent. As long as he acts swiftly, gathering 1 million gold coins in a year will be more than enough. A single thought stirred within his heart, and in an instant, the world opened wide, unfurled. A look of relief washing over his face. Sensing malice, he went to the outdoor stove to prepare a meal. After a satisfying meal, he returned to began to cultivate, circulating the yin yang dragon's art. 2 months had passed. Lin Bai of Nuoding City. You've been sensible since you were little.
Once you're at the Spirit Master Academy, try not to get into
I
conflicts
don't know
with
much
others,
about cultivation.
but diligence is always the
A
right
lazy
path.
man can never reap a good harvest.
The village chief tirelessly exhorted Lin Bai, sharing much of his life experience.
Don't worry, Uncle Village Chief.
I, Lin Bai, have always been
And I'll
kind
get
to
along
others.
well with my classmates.
Lin Bai patted his chest, guaranteeing
Opportunities to bully a child fair and square are rare.
He must seize the moment while his shelf life hasn't
And indulge
expired.
himself while he still
Just
can.
remember what I said. The village head was not a man of
And
great
possessed
learning,
a rugged temperament.
so he sensed nothing
The
amiss.
two continued on their way,
Arriving
making
at the
inquiries
main
as
gate
they
of
went.
Nuoding Academy.
A commotion erupts ahead.
An academy guard is clashing with an old man and a young child. A golden phoenix born from a backwater village.
Indeed.
Get lost, you filthy beggars. The guard tosses a piece of paper aside. He rudely shoves the old man away, looking down his nose at the pair with disdain.
We are
villagers from Holy Soul Village.
We are
not beggars. Jack shouted at the top of his lungs. His hunched back straightened up. He took merely 2 steps forward. The path comes first. Tang Sen placed his hands behind his back. A faint murderous aura flickered in his eyes. At such a tender age, he already displays the visage of an Asura.
Stop.
Yu Zhaogang stepped forward to halt the conflict. He had been drawn here by the word's innate full soul power. Old man, may I see the child's certificate? Yu Zhaogang's expression stiffened. He tried his best to appear amiable. His tone was gentle. Of course, you may see it. Old Jack picked up the Spirit Hall certificate. He carefully brushed off the dust. He held it with both hands and handed it to Yu Zhaogang. Yu Zhaogang took the certificate. He examined it carefully from beginning to end. Upon seeing the words Blue Silver Gross Martial Soul
Innate full
and Spirit Power, his heart couldn't help but skip a beat. Yu Zhaogang took the certificate and read it carefully from beginning to end. Upon seeing the words Blue Silver Gross Martial Soul
Innate
and
full
Spirit Power, his heart couldn't help but skip a beat. He suppressed his surging excitement and feigned composure. The proof is genuine. The seal of the Spirit Hall cannot be forged. Old man, I am a teacher at the academy. Leave this child to me. I will take him to register. Oh, thank you so much. Spirit
Old Jack
Master expressed his gratitude repeatedly. He turned around and led Tang Sen to Yu Zhaogang's side. Sen, hurry and follow the Spirit Master.
Sen ...
What a fine
Yu
name.
Zhaogang
held Tang Sen's hand firmly.
His
palm was burning
slightly
hot.
damp with
He
sweat.
turned his head to look at the guard at the entrance.
Everything
that just happened. I will report it to the dean. You had better behave yourself. With that, he ignored the guard's desperate pleas and led Tang Sen into Nodding Academy. You watched the scene unfold
I'd
in
rather
silence.
not
get entangled with Yu Zhaogang for now. Only after Yu Zhaogang had stepped through the main
take
gate
out the
Spirit Hall certification and hand it to the dazed guard. Clinging to a shred of hope, the guard continued his duty. At a single glance, the 5 bold characters innate full
were
spirit
written
power clearly on the paper. His breath hitched, and he lowered his head to take a look. Having just been taught a lesson, he dared not stir up any more trouble. After carefully verifying the credentials and confirming
The
they
gate
were
was
correct,
opened
to let
you
you bid
pass.
farewell to the village
And
head
walked
into Nuoding Academy alone. You walked very slowly, giving Yu Zhaogang and Tang Sen the chance to be alone as master and
You
disciple.
did
Not notice that the guard behind you hesitated for a moment. He gritted his teeth in the end. He abandoned his post and chased after them. He approached Yu Zhaogang and whispered something subserviently. Are you telling the truth? Another one with innate full spirit power. Yu Zhaogang scrutinized the guard with a sharp gaze. How rare is an innate full spirit power? To find 2 in a single day. He, who had lived a life of obscurity
Could not
and
believe
hardship,
he would have such good fortune.
I wouldn't dare deceive you, grandmother, let alone
I have
anyone
carefully
else. Examined the proof from the Spirit Hall.
It cannot be fake.
I came to inform you, grandmother, the very first moment I beg you to give me another chance to make amends. The guard said with a sheepish grin. He looked at Yu Zhaogang with anticipation. As a gatekeeper at Nuoding Academy, he understood the significance of innate full spirit power. Yu Zhaogang understood the guard's intention in bringing him the news. He hesitated, then lowered his head to look at Tang Sen. What do you think, Sen? I defer to your judgment, teacher. Tang Sen had already acknowledged Yu Zhaogang as
In
his
his
master.
eyes,
A teacher for a day
is
a father for life. Yu Zhaogang spoke up in return. Since neither he nor old Jack were injured, it wouldn't hurt to let this guard go. Very well, then let this matter rest. Let this be the only time. Thank you, grandmother. The guard left, profusely expressing his gratitude. He ran into you on the way. You hurried past him without a word. You saw the guard, but paid him no mind, completely unaware that you had been betrayed.
A short
You
while
arrived
later.
at the training grounds, noticing Tang Sen and Yu Zhaogang standing still. You intend to pretend you didn't see them and walk right past. But Yu Zhaogang calls out to stop you. Child, no need to rush off just yet. I am a teacher at this academy. I heard you possess innate full spirit power. Would you mind showing me your martial soul? Tang San looks at you, entirely unconcerned about losing his teacher's attention, chiming in from the side. The teacher's knowledge is truly profound. He can offer you some advice on cultivating your martial soul. You stop in your tracks, secretly curling your lip into disdain. Isn't it said that a martial soul is a spirit master's private matter? Should not be shown to others so casually. Being played for a fool for no apparent reason. His tone was rather unpleasant. Yu Zhaogang's expression stiffened. Still, he wouldn't stoop to bickering with a child. He said in a gentle tone, "You are quite right. However, my academy teacher don't need to keep secrets from me." Tang San's gaze turned cold. His curiosity upon meeting another person shifted into repulsion. When asked by an elder, instead of answering, he retorted with a question of his own. What a rude little brat. Yu Zhaogang's position is impeccable. As a teacher, he certainly has the right to know a student's martial soul. Besides, the dean is a friend of Yu Zhaogang. With nothing left to say, you raise your hand. Soul seal activated. You summon your Ghost Gate Golden Needle Martial Soul. A golden light flares up. 13 golden needles hover in the air. The sharp needle tip resembles a slender ray of light. It can slice through the very air. The tail end is slightly textured, making it easy for fingers to grip. A gentle aura of a healer emanates from you, forming a striking contrast with your sharp martial soul. Knowledge of medicinal herbs on the Douluo Continent remains quite shallow, let alone the development of traditional medicine to save the world. That is why Yu Zhaogang cannot recognize your martial soul and can only rely on his experience to make it there for a moment, lost in thought. Tang San was certainly familiar with the golden needles used in acupuncture. The Tang sect was a school dedicated to the art of assassination. His knowledge of acupuncture was limited to its use in medical treatment. As for trying to heal wounds or neutralize poisons with acupuncture himself, Tang San had never attempted it. No assassin would ever feel at ease letting someone poke needles all over their body. Even the slightest deviation in hitting an acupoint could be the difference between life and death. It seems the teacher is unfamiliar with the golden needles used in acupuncture. That must mean acupuncture does not exist in this world. What a pity to possess innate full spirit power, yet awaken such a martial soul. Tang San feels a sense of regret for you. His eyes filled with a touch of pity. Unable to master acupuncture for healing, the wounds caused by these hair-thin golden needles are minuscule. When combined with hidden weapon techniques, they possess some lethality. But in the end, they remain inferior to standard hidden weapons. Perhaps a spirit master's spirit ring can be altered. I wonder what your thoughts are on this, teacher. Tang San pondered this as he looked toward Yu Zhaogang. Your martial soul belongs to a very rare category of mutated martial souls. Yu Zhaogang was well-versed and knowledgeable. He had remained silent just a moment of the time. He was carefully weighing his words, hoping to offer a profound insight that would stun his listener. Another student with innate full spirit power to help him validate his 10 core competencies of martial soul theory. So, your name is Lin Bai Child. Yu Zhaogang attempted to bridge the distance through this familiar address. You raised an eyebrow, remaining non-committal. Martial souls are inherited through bloodlines. During the process, there is an extremely slim chance of mutation. I have studied 439 individuals who awakened their martial souls. Only 3 of them became spirit masters, with the highest cultivation reaching only the great spirit master martial souls have all undergone varying degrees of golden mutation. Needle martial soul has mutated even more significantly. It even allowed you to awaken with innate full spirit power. However, as a true martial soul, your true martial soul is far too short spirit rings. It is difficult to possess sufficient attack power. If you are willing, you may join Tang San and learn under me. I will select the most suitable spirit ring configuration for your true martial soul. As Yu Zhaogang reached the end of his words, a surge of confidence welled up within him, his voice ringing out with resonant strength. Determined to instill that same conviction in you. You knew that Yu Zhaogang's reasoning was sound. Without your golden finger, you would have been at a loss as to how to bring upon the golden needle spirit. It was clearly a metal attribute spirit, yet it possessed the properties of a healing type spirit. So, should I pursue the path of an agility or the path of a healing system? You are uncertain, but you have no fondness for Yu Zhaogang. There is no need. I have no intention of taking on a master. The teachers at the academy provide instruction, and that is more than enough for me. Excuse me, teacher. I need to head to the registration desk. You walk past Tang San, like a child whose pride has been wounded. Tang San's gaze turned cold. When the master is humiliated, the same principle applies to one's teacher. His eyes were filled with killing intent. You continued walking with a cold sneer in your heart, daring to show killing intent toward you. Then don't blame you for treating them as you walked past the intersection. As she turned the corner, she cast a seemingly casual glance back at Tang San, lowering her head slightly. A golden light, invisible to all others, was unleashed. The golden-tipped arrow pierced through the air, striking Tang San. It was an arrow that even the gods could not detect. You only utilized the divine artifact the aura within his sea of consciousness, lacking the power of the original version, capable of making even gods fall hopelessly in love. But it is more than enough to deal with Tang San as he is now. After all, Tang San has only revealed his killing intent and has not yet truly made his father some respect. Now, you may designate a target for Tang San to fall in love with. Since Yu Zhaogang cares so much about Tang San, then let us bring your relationship even closer. Target designated, Yu Zhaogang. Another golden beam of light shot forth from your eyes, striking Yu Zhaogang, targeting Tang San. It's a mutual devotion, after all. You love to see lovers finally united. You have mastered the arrow of Cupid. Between lovers, a one-sided effort will never be the case. You wave your sleeves and stride toward the dean's office. Having finished the task, hiding your merit away and fame deep within, Yu Zhaogang was instructing Tang San on some fundamental knowledge of martial souls. Gazing at Tang San's delicate features and his calm, deep eyes, he suddenly found San's earnest expression so endearing. It made him long to pull the boy into his embrace. Why would such a thought cross my mind? Yu Zhaogang hurriedly shook his head, trying to dispel the amorous thoughts from his heart. Is something wrong, teacher? Tang San looked up at Yu Zhaogang. The very moment their eyes met, he was suddenly taken aback, finding his teacher's beard strangely alluring. The coarse bristles stirred a wild curiosity about how they would feel to the touch. That stern countenance reminded him of his long-absent father. He truly wished he could never be parted from his teacher. Their gazes locked, then broke away instantly. The atmosphere grew heavy with an inexplicable tension. Surely, a mere wisp of aura from a divine possibly alter the sexual orientation of two men. But it will cause some trouble for the two of them. It's perfectly fine to let you have some fun. Teacher at the academic affairs office. I want to sign up. You've tested the power of Cupid's arrow on animals, so you can make a fair guess about Tang San and the other's current situation. Just imagining them gazing at each other with such affectionate eyes makes you want to laugh out loud. Even your steps feel light and jaunty. The dean of students is in charge of registration. He took your spirit proof. He paused for a few seconds on your spirit power and martial soul. His expression shifted slightly, inwardly astonished. To think it's actually innate full spirit power. It's just that I've never heard of this martial soul before. I wonder what its potential might be. He knew his own standing well. He did not suggest taking you on as a disciple. He efficiently filled out the enrollment form and handed it to you. Teacher, can I apply for a spirit hunting token at the academy? The director shakes his head. Only the Spirit Hall has the authority to issue spirit hunting tokens. Students must apply to the Spirit Hall to hunt spirit beasts, and you will need recommendations from 3 nobles. After speaking, he seems to recall something. However, it is said that grandmother has a spirit hunting token here at the academy. But he never lends it out. Forget it. You had better go to the Spirit Hall and see for yourself. The dean was afraid that by sending Lin Bai to him and having him taken in as a student by Yu Zhaogang, he would only be doing you a disservice. Quickly change your words. Thank you, teacher. You offered your thanks, then turned and left. Along the way, you pondered to yourself, even without a spirit hunting token, you were still confident you could enter the spirit hunting forest. But if the Spirit Hall finds out, it will eventually become a nuisance. Since my innate full spirit power has already been exposed, I might as well go and see the Spirit Hall. It just so happens that Su Yuntao asked me to look for him. At this moment, in front of the work-study student dormitory, room 7. You don't need to go buy bedding. I brought a set from home and kept it in my storage ring. Walking up to the door, he took out the bedding and carried it inside. The wooden door creaked open. The working students in the room turned their heads. A sturdy-looking boy hopped off his bed. The newcomer is here. Come and face me in a duel. The winner shall be the new boss of Dorm 7. Let me introduce myself. My name is Wang Sheng. My martial soul is a tiger. The boy's bright eyes were fixed on you. Seeing his slender, delicate arms, his thighs, and his overly handsome features, you immediately curled your lip in disdain. Dorm 7 found a bed against the wall and walked over carrying your bedding. You spoke while making the bed. A fight is fine, but ... But what? Wang Shenghui. Crossing your arms, you immediately chime in. You turn around, looking Wang Sheng up and down, sizing up his sturdy physique. You look much older than me. At a glance, you're clearly a senior student. I'll be taking leave tomorrow to acquire my first spirit ring. I'll spar with you once I return. Seeing the solemn expression on your face, Wang Sheng wishes he could just crawl into a hole in the ground. His voice involuntarily begins to tremble. You've only just awakened your martial soul. And you're already capable of obtaining a spirit ring. Could it be that you possess the legendary innate full spirit power? Wang Sheng has been at the academy for 4 years. And he's only at spirit power level 7. You nod with a naive, innocent smile. Yeah, what's so strange about that? I actually ran into someone on the way here just now. Who also has innate full spirit power. I reckon he'll be here any moment. If you're looking for someone to spar with, you can try challenging him. He also possesses innate full spirit power. Wang Sheng and the group of work-study students cried out in shock, their faces etched with disbelief. Wang Sheng was not disheartened. Although he had taken a bit of a blow, he felt more joy than anything else. Joy that the work-study students finally had someone to rely on. Stand tall. At this very moment, the door to Dorm 7 swung wide open. Tang San stepped inside. He scanned the confronting crowd, his cold, youthful face revealing no emotion. He walked toward a bed in the corner. Wait, the newcomer must duel the dormitory boss. to determine the new leader. Wang Sheng stated the rule nonetheless. Otherwise, there would be no reason to challenge
the genius
a
with
innate
full
spirit power.
Tang
Sen stopped in his tracks and looked at Wang Sheng. You defeated him. He was referring to you. You spread your hands. I'm not good at fighting. He had already conceded. No one exposed his lie. The reputation of having innate full spirit power is still quite useful. Tang Sen nodded, indicating he understood. Very well. Come at me. Let me see the true strength of a spirit master. He stood rooted to the spot, in a posture that appeared loose and unguarded, yet it was filled with hidden lethality. The muscles across his back and waist were coiled tight, linking his agile arms to his powerful legs. An awe-inspiring aura surged forth from him. Wang Sheng launched his attack. Wang Sheng has been defeated. You're so strong. From now on, you're the new boss of Dorm 7. Wang Sheng has lost. Hand over the position of boss immediately. The other work-study students chimed in one after another. Cries of boss rang out, sincere and clear. Tang Sen had no interest in indulging in such childish games. Just as he was about to refuse, melodic voice drifted in from the doorway. What a lively scene. Are you all fighting? Count me in. A little girl with a scorpion braid skipped into Dorm 7. Her eyes fell upon Tang Sen and you, who stood out from the crowd and immediately lit up. She walked up to the two of you, looking at one, then looking at the other. What an adorable little girl. Wang. Tang Sen stares directly at you with his eyes. He detests trouble. If you do not concede, he would much rather have a bout with you. Ziwu couldn't care less about what Tang Sen is thinking. Upon hearing she could become the boss, her bright eyes lit up. Without waiting for Tang Sen's response, she took a nimble stride forward, charging straight at Tang Sen. Her legs, encased in pink tights, moved like two giant pythons, swift in speed and cunning in their assault. Tang Sen cast aside all other thoughts, focusing entirely on countering Ziwu's attack. Ziwu held the advantage of her immortal herb enhancement. She quickly seized the opportunity, leveraging her natural strength to the fullest. Twisting her waist midair, she unleashed two consecutive kicks, defeating Tang Sen. The battle has ended. Tang Sen rubbed his wrists, casting a look of astonishment at Ziwu. He never expected a young girl to be able to best him in a move, though in truth, it was partly because he hadn't unleashed his full strength. It was clear that Ziwu possessed an extraordinary talent for combat. Yay, from now on, I am your leader. No, absolutely not. The title leader sounds terrible. From now on, you shall call me Big Sister. Ziwu stood with her hands on her hips, enthusiastically announcing her new title for him, Big Sister Boss. Wang Sheng bowed his head in submission, for when it came to recognizing a boss in Dorm 7, he considered himself second to none. No one dared claim the top spot. The work-study students followed suit one after another. You solidly estimated that even without the techniques from the Yin-Yang 9 Dragon art, you would likely still be unable to defeat Ziwu. However, the Dragon King protagonist's ultimate techniques have a special affinity for women. So he gave up on the idea of bullying Ziwu. He also followed suit and called out, Big Sister. Tang Sen called out as well. Then he turned his head to look at you. You sensed something. You turned your head and locked eyes with him. It was as if sparks were flying between the two of you. The atmosphere froze. Damn it, why is Tang Sen looking at me like that? Cupid's arrow wouldn't have changed his sexual orientation. You cursed inwardly, but refused to back down from the staring contest. You were determined to see who would blink first. Ziwu blinked her eyes, resting her chin on her index finger as she watched them spar. She couldn't help but think of Daming and Erming, always eager to stir up trouble for the sake of entertainment, to goad them into a fight. Who is Tang Sen? A young man walked into Dorm 7 and interrupted the confrontation. I am Tang Sen. He turned his head. He secretly thought he had lost his mind to actually be taking things so seriously with a mere child. An annoying little brat. It is no wonder he could not help himself. He did not realize this was the deep-seated fear within his own heart, that you would steal Yu Zhao Gang's attention away from him. Tang Sen would never have thought this way before. But the true power of Cupid's arrow lies in its ability to instantly alter a creature's preferences. Love is blind, and it is selfishly possessive. The young man handed Tang Sen a new set of bedding. I am the teacher in charge of the dormitory. Grandmother asked me to give this to you. Also, you are responsible for the hygiene of the academies. 10 copper coins a day. If it's not cleaned properly, all of it will be deducted. After saying this, the teacher left. Tang Sen held the clean and tidy bedding in his arms, a warm current flowing through his heart. He felt the genuine care from his teacher, and sincerely laid the bedding out on the bed. Ziwu took a look. Everyone else has bedding. He's the only one who didn't. Lips. Tang Sen, how about we share a blanket? Hearing this, Tang Sen reacted like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. He refused. No way. This was given to me by my teacher. I cannot let you use it. Faced with such a firm attitude, Ziwu immediately put on a tearful expression. Unfortunately, Tang San's heart remained as still as stagnant water. Ziwu turns her gaze toward you. His bedding is brand new as well. A man and a woman should not touch when handing something over. You habitually resort to sarcasm. Propriety. Seeing the flames of fury ignite in Ziwu's eyes, you realize things have taken a turn for the worse. Running away is the best one. 7 in a few quick strides. The sound echoed through the corridor. I'm going to ask for leave. Don't touch my bedding. Big sister, would you like to use my bedding instead? Wang Sheng, acting as a loyal tried to offer Ziwu a way out. Ziwu glared at him. Bedding that dirty. She wouldn't dream of using it. Neither of these underlings knows how to behave. Being a big sister like her is truly dull. I can sleep even without a quilt. As he spoke, he found a spot and sat down on the bed frame. He eyed your soft, fluffy quilt not far away with secret longing. But you wouldn't allow it. He rolled his eyes, deep in thought. Yet he didn't resort to snatching it by force. Leaving the dormitory, you made your way to the dean's office. Please, come in, a gentle voice replied. You pushed the door open and enter. You see the dean. He is a middle-aged man with a gentle and refined appearance. You present your spirit master credentials to the dean and say, Dean, I am a new student this year. I possess innate full spirit power. I would like to request to apply for entry into the hunting forest to obtain my first spirit ring. Purpose. Upon hearing this, the dean ponders for a moment. Looking up at you, he said, Do you know the requirements for applying for the hunting token? You nodded. Meeting the spirit power level requirement and obtaining recommendations from 3 nobles will grant you the hunting token. The requirements are not difficult. With innate full spirit power, it is easy to find nobles willing to provide recommendations. The dean asked again, Have you found a team to accompany you on your spirit hunt? What I mean is, although the academy hasn't officially opened yet, the academy can send teachers to assist you in hunting your first spirit ring. You feel a slight stir of emotion. But in an instant, you shake your head with a smile and decline. Thank you, Dean. I have already found a team for the spirit hunt, so there is no need to trouble the teachers. The dean nods slightly. Then he put on a grave expression. Do not place too much trust in those spirit hunting squads out there. For the sake of profit, they would betray you at any moment. The academy's teachers are far more trustworthy. I understand, Dean. I will be careful in the future. Seeing your firm resolve, the dean sighed and waved his hand. I grant you your leave. Go now. Stay safe. You expressed your gratitude once more and departed from the dean's office. Not long after you left, the office door was pushed open. Yu Xiaogang walked in. Xiaogang, you aren't staying in the dormitory to read today. What brings you to see me? The dean said with a smile, pouring a cup of tea for Yu Xiaogang. Yu Xiaogang took the teacup and set it down on the table. Just tell me the reason for being here. I've taken on a student with innate full spirit power. I'm taking him to the hunting forest tomorrow. I need you to notify the other instructors. The dean chuckled. So that's how it is. Then you're a bit late, Xiaogang. He just came to me himself to ask for leave. So he is your student. That puts my mind at ease. Yu Xiaogang was taken aback. Then he shook his head. He is not my student. My student is named Tang San. He also possesses innate full spirit power. What a coincidence. You can rest assured that if you encounter him in the hunting forest, I will look after him a little. So that's how it is. The dean suddenly realized. To think that his humble Nuoding Academy would actually produce 2 individuals with innate full spirit power. What a stroke of luck. I'll be taking my leave now. Yu Xiaogang offered a brief greeting and walked out of the dean's office. The dean was long accustomed to this, offering a faint smile, unbothered. Meanwhile, you departed from the Spirit Hall branch, having just successfully located Su Yuntao. With the help of Su Yuntao, you secured joint recommendations from 2 other deacons, and successfully applied for a spirit hunting token. The token is for one-time use only and must be returned immediately after use, or the Spirit Hall will hold you accountable. Su Yuntao has not given up on recruiting you into the Spirit Hall, and offered to assist you in hunting a spirit beast. You turned him down once again, even though you felt a bit guilty for rejecting his kindness. But you have your own plans. You can compensate Su Yuntao in other ways later. Using the few silver coins you had to rent a good carriage, you planned to travel through the night to the hunting forest. As for the furious Ziwu back in the dormitory, she had already been cast to the back of your mind. The coachman is an ordinary person, so he will take turns driving with you. Even so, it will still take time to reach the nearest hunting forest. It took 3 days and 3 nights. Guest, we've arrived at the hunting forest. The carriage driver had been traveling this route for over a decade. He prided himself on being well-traveled and experienced. But it was his first time seeing a 6-year-old come to the hunting forest all alone. However, he was very tight-lipped, only saying in his heart. You pushed aside the carriage curtain and stepped out. You may go now. You jump off the carriage. You pay the driver the remaining fare. You wait for the carriage to pull away. You head toward the hunting forest alone. The sides of the road are lined with all sorts of shops. The cries of hawkers fill the air. A faint, pungent stench permeates the air. It emanates from the spirit beast pelts hanging outside the shops. Seeing you all by yourself, many inscrutable gazes are cast your way. Greed is held in extreme dread, and so on, the list goes on. You pay them no heed. With a calm and composed expression, you walk to the end of the road. You take out your spirit hunting token and present it to the spirit hall soldier stationed outside the spirit hunting forest. The soldier carefully inspects the token, confirming its authenticity. He asks you nothing further about why you have come to the spirit hunting forest and decisively. Alone. They let you pass. The towering iron gates creaked open. You took back the hunting forest token handed to you by the soldier. Stepping into the deep, mysterious hunting forest. The hunting forest is dense with lush vegetation. Trees reaching tens of meters high can be seen everywhere. Walking into its depths is like a single drop of water merging into the vast ocean. Completely inconspicuous. Even if one were to perish inside, it would be nothing more than adding another set of bleached bones to the soul hunting forest. Regarding the soul hunting team, you lied to the dean. No one is helping him hunt for a soul ring at all. You harbor so many secrets. So naturally, you chose to hunt for your soul ring alone. The confidence to do so comes from your various cheat-like abilities. For instance, once you unleash the divine artifact, the Sword of Cupid, even if a god were to descend, they would be finished once struck by the golden blade. I will never harm you. However, to protect your own chastity, you have decided to use the divine artifact as your final trump card. Though your mastery of the Yin-Yang 9 Dragon 13 Needles is still far from perfect. When combined with the Eye of Appraisal to pierce through weaknesses, they can be used together to deal with ordinary century-old spirit beasts. And the reliance that gives you the courage to venture alone into the hunting forest is the golden finger you acquired when you were 4 years old. That year, your golden finger was when you first obtained the system, the superhero system. Earn points by doing good deeds, which could be used to purchase any superpower or technological equipment you could imagine. Limited by your age of just over 4, you could only do small favors for others in Shia Village, accumulating points bit by bit. At the time, you were unaware that system type, the golden finger, will vanish in a year's time. So there was no urgent need to hoard points. Fortunately, the system will begin a countdown 3 days before it disappears. You use the accumulated points to exchange the superpower most suited to you. Psychokinesis, also known as telekinesis, is a branch of mental type abilities with immense potential, especially since you opened up your sea of consciousness in advance. The Sword of Cupid has automatically acknowledged you as a divine artifact. Though it may lack raw lethality, its status as a divine artifact remains absolute. It can help you suppress and stabilize your sea of consciousness, allowing your spiritual power to grow steadily and transform into telekinetic power. You will be able to lift boulders weighing over 1,000 kilograms. And since telekinesis is formless, it is impossible for your enemies to guard against it.